Ladies and gentlemen, as for this session, we will be talking about can technology and venture capital accelerate sustainability and ESG in ASEAN, or known as environmental, social, and corporate government. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our speaker from Singapore Management University, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edward Tay. ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับคุณเอ็ดเวิร์ดเทด้วยนะคะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตเช็คเสียงสักครู่หนึ่งนะคะว่าในส่วนของการบรรยายนะคะเราจะเรียบร้อยนะคะดีทุกอย่างหรือเปล่านะคะ Alright เรียบร้อยนะคะ The stage is yours.
I'm the Sustainability Ambassador for the Singapore Management University. Today, I'd like to share can technology and venture capital accelerate sustainability and ESG in Southeast Asia. This is our present landscape right now. Globally, among the specialist universities, we are 14 ranked globally, SMU. And we are actually the first in Asia, top 3 in worldwide for Masters of Wealth Management in Finance. And more importantly, we are also the first in Asia for archivals, accountings, and research. And SMU visions for 2025 is to be the world-renowned global city universities, targeting world complexities and impacting humans positively. So there are 3 pillars that we are focusing on: digital transformation, sustainable living, and growth in Asia. Today we'll share a little bit more about the sustainable living. So the global landscape of the capital driving ESG and sustainability is, I'd like to quote US President Joe Biden, right? It is the policies of his administration to advance consistent and clear and intangible and accurate disclosure of climate-related risks. Why is this important for US presidents? It's because right now, ESG trends for 2020s is actually intermingled. As you can see inside there itself, capital is just one side of the whole equations. We have a lot of focus on net zero actions, climate stress, and also there's a lot of corporates, boards, and governments who are emphasizing on ESG skills out there. And alongside with it, there's also many social issues in the supply chain right now that we are facing. So amidst all this, how does corporate leaders like yourself, how about students and government leaders like yourself actually maps up? So the global landscape of the capitals, if you can look at this, just from 2021 to 2022, there's a huge increase between those adopters itself and the non-adopters. And in the area of those who believe strongly about the ESGs, right, there is at least about 61% who strongly believe that ESG is not a passing fad that will eventually go out of fashion. ESG continues to dominate investors like us in allocations, the E especially, the environment. So if you look in the environment itself in 2022 is about 47%. This is up and higher than the 44% that we have in 2020. And I would like to quote Larry Finn. He's the chairman and CEO of BlackRock, one of the world's biggest fund managers. We focus on sustainability, not because we are environmentalists, but because we are capitalists and fiduciary to our clients. This is the man who leads one of the highest funds in the world itself. And when you look at this, the impact for all the shareholders' activist campaigns have went up, skyrocketed. Environmentals and social activist campaigns have surged tremendously over the last few years. So what does all this emphasis and the rapid technology innovations have the impact on green tech? Right. A survey was being conducted a while ago, right? 40%, more than 40% recognize that social issues are being overlooked. The ESG, the social issues are being overlooked right now because of the rapid technology innovations. And one of the biggest problems you can see is for many of the CIOs, CFOs, and the CEOs out there, it's not just engaging and the transparency of it, but really is about the measurements of the ESG performance and also the assessing of the ESG performance. And also, as much as 25% is wondering about the ESG rating consistency. The ESG rating, there's consistency. This is a big problem because we use the ratings to benchmark many of our performances in the boards, in the schools, and as well as for investor returns. So how ASEAN can actually pivot towards a circular economy? Yeah, this is a big picture is here, but broadly there's about three things. One is, what is our ESG aspirations? What do we really want? What do we want to do? And what must we do? So there has to be a blueprint for us to map out. And the second thing is, how do we actually drive the ESG strategies after we know what is the aspiration that we want? What is the business transformation that we need to undertake? What is the ongoing digital transformation, especially? And last, how do we actually ensure that we are able to measure and monitor all these ESG factors in areas of like carbon emissions, in areas of workforce diversities, in areas of supply chain sustainability? So some of the very layman ways how ASEAN can actually pivot is, of course, we grow and we support more urban farmings, we support more green farmers, and we take more green basically. This will definitely help to reduce our carbon emissions. And the more technology ones is, we will try to take more green transports and install more solar panels. There's a whole lot of literatures out there, right? Actually, that can help ASEAN to pivot towards circular economies, right? There's a lot of people may not know that there's as many about 600 to 700 sustainability standards globally. So which one is appropriate for ASEAN? Which one is appropriate for your industries? You can be working in the built environments, in the constructions, or you can be working in the banking and finance. But which one is actually the relevant one for you? There are so much knowledge out there itself. And more importantly, there's also a lot of greenwashing out there. So how can we actually have a framework to actually understand this? So I've just picked up one, just to illustrate. So one is actually, ASEAN can actually learn from countries like Bangladesh and Ethiopia on the build. So to have a lower rate of consumptions per capita. And another examples that we could also learn is from the Latin Americas and the North African countries in the area of growth. These countries are growing manufacturing hubs and they are expanding their industrial sectors. And we can actually help them rapidly industrialize by adopting a lot of green practices. And the third areas that we could possibly learn is countries from like USA and the European Union. It's called shift. So this is where minorities of the global populations, we will shift our materials consumptions and also our extractions of the fossil fuels right now. So I'd just like to share there are so many knowledge out there, right? One of which is the intervention vortex, right? I would just like to say that there is the information inside there itself is important. But what is really important is, why are we moving towards a circular economy? So Greta Thunberg is one of my favorite idol, right? She says, some people says that the climate crisis is something that we all created. But that's just another convenient lie. Because if everyone is guilty, then no one is to be blamed. Think about that. So I'd like to use a case study, which is the SMU, the Journey in Sustainability, to illustrate how having quality education providers can help to address some of the issues that we have, such as talent shortage and also all the knowledges. For SMUs, how do we actually start, right? What are the problems that we have and how do we actually solve the problem? So SMUs, where are the schools? And actually, when we first started this, we actually looked closely to all the people. We actually reach out to a lot of people and actually ask. We have a lot of experts who are really domain experts in their fields itself. And many of them are actually green champions. And so we have undertaken certain discussions internally, and we were decided that we want to take actions. And some of the actions that we have taken is like to adopt Green Mark, ISO certifications. We want to raise a sustainability bar for our new developments. We want to pursue new standards, and we want to improve the energy and water efficiencies. And this we have undertaken this many years ago, and all this only start to bear fruits only right now. And given what we have done over the past by discussing and adopting certain concrete actions, we have managed to actually get some key achievements and recognitions from globally in areas of sustainability, such as the Green Mark Platinums, such as the low energy buildings, for example. And SMUs, academies, we have been pushing out a lot of sustainability and ESG courses in order to actually increase the talents of ESG talents here in Singapore and also globally. So the impetus for the sustainability ESG is exactly like this, right? We want to help to fulfill the needs for the regulatories in areas of waste management, in areas of diversities, in area of data protections, in area of labor laws. All these are all equally important factors. And just a broad glance, this is what we already have out there. Feel free to come and check us out. This is a QR code over here. And if you need to write to anybody's, feel free to reach out to our deputy directors, Carrie Chan. And last but not least, I would just like to say, you know, if you cannot remember everything today, just remember, hope doesn't come from words. Hopes only come from actions. So enjoy the rest of the day and the exhibitions, and I wish you all the best. Kap kun kap.